Hello, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and everybody else into the rainbow of our wonderful community. How are you doing today? We are back once again with the good people. I don't know if this is part 3, part 4, part 5. I am so behind in VODs, but we are here. We're still in the Book of the Traveler, and I'm just gonna jump in. Maybe. There we go. Yes. Ha ha ha. God, I wonder if there's going to be like 12 chapters. Oh, it scrolls. Oh, there could be more. What do we think? What do you guys think is going to be the last chapter? Like 10, 11, 12, 13? I wonder if it's 15. Okay. The Horned Devil. Let's get a few chapters in tonight. 18. Oh, God. Ooh. As Maithe heaves open the heavy wooden doors, a wave of heat falls over me. Maithe is my wife. Maithe is the wife. The warmth eases the bitter autumn wind from my weary bones, but just as soon as I begin to feel myself relaxing, something else strikes my senses. The rich, all-encompassing smell of a freshly cooked feast. I blink, taking in the strange scene before me. What kind of throne room is this? It's nothing like the Seelys. In fact, if not for the literal throne at the far back, I wouldn't have realized this was a throne room at all. If anything, it's more of a public dining hall. The majority of the room is consumed by massive wood tables covered end to end with all sorts of food and drink. I feel my mouth water enviously as I watch the crowd of common folk mingle and treat themselves to the fresh loaves of bread, steaming hot meats, fruits and vegetables, cakes and cheeses, mead and whiskey. My stomach twists painfully, audibly. That's right, because we are amongst the fairies, we cannot eat, that we are human. That's the whole thing. You do not eat something from the plane of the fairies. Oh, I forgot that I can move around. I forget this all the time. Hey! I think we should go party with that person. They know what's going on here. Go ahead. Huh?
You're hungry. Eat something. We'll be waiting a while still.
I am blessed. I am blessed in this day of our Lord in 2025. The Dagda's feast feeds all. No, that's all right. I'm fine. Of course, that was just about the biggest, fattest lie I've ever spoken in all my life, but I just couldn't. Even now, I had to hold out hope. Suit yourself. With that, Maeve steers us away from the tables and off to the side, right around the center of the room. The silence is awkward, so I break it. Ask about the Dagda's feast. Ask about the king. Let's ask about the feast. I feel like that's pretty tame. So why is it called the Dagda's feast? I'm saying this wrong, I can tell. This is what I was talking about. You can click this and Dagda. I was right. Ha! The Allfather god of the Tuatha Day, associated with fertility, masculinity, and druidry. He is lover to the Morrigan. I like that the okay, yeah. Fertility, masculinity, and druidry. Nice, love that. So why is it called the Dagda's Feast? You know about the 4 treasures, don't you? Remind me?
I see.
I understand. I tuned out a lot of the druids' historical lessons as well. I'm not going to be able to do an actual Irish accent. I will put a little twinge in it, but sometimes it turns southern, and please don't hold that against me. I raise my eyebrow. Maeve was taught by the druids? Interesting. A long time ago, this place, Tirnanog, was a series of islands named Falias, Gordias, Phineas, and Murias, which now make up our provinces. As far as we know, all the islands melded together after our ancestors left for Inisfal. Anyway, before they left, 4 treasures were taken from each island. The first treasure was the Leafal. I will say the only problem that I have with this is that it literally moves even when you go into here and click things, so that can be a little turn off or a little put offing.
Leafal.
Leafal. Leafal. Stone of Destiny in the old world, it heralded the coming of a new high king with a mighty cry. Leafal. The first treasure was the Leafal. It used to cry out for the next high king if a line of succession ever ended in the old world. But the stone was broken by Cuchulainn. Thousands of years ago. Efforts were made by the druids to recover the pieces, of course, but it's never... Well, never mind. The next treasures were... Cleave Solis. Cleave Solis. And Gay Asal. Gay Asal. Spear of Asal. The legendary weapons of Nuada, and Lu. I was right, that one. Got it, chat. For a long time, those treasures were thought to be lost. But when Finn and Lugad rose up in defiance of King Anrai, we'll do this all the time. Henri.
King Henri.
The rebels were gifted both sword and spear as a godly blessing for the unseelie cause. As for the final treasure, you're standing in it. I look around perplexedly for a moment. What do you mean? This room is Kura Ansik. The Cauldron of Plenty. It said that no man shall walk away from the cauldron in want. That's cool. Or what's left of it. The Dagda was said to have ascended to Magmel after his time in Isenfall. So imagine our surprise when we find his cauldron overturned here, abandoned in the countryside. Most believe it was left as a gift. Or maybe he just dropped it. I kind of want her as much in the middle as I can, so... She's so pretty! Either way, the stronghold was built up around it, and now this room holds host to an eternal feast. No matter how much you eat, it will always be replenished, so the throne room is kept open for everyone. Food can be hard to come by, especially the farther north you go. There used to be some trade with Falias for that reason, but after the war... Well, the king's of a mind that if you've come all this way, you best be able to leave with your belly full. Are you sure you won't eat? No, I eat.
Oh.
Morty! Are you giving my friend over there a hard time? She stole my fucking bag! Abruptly cut off, Maeve and I both look up in the direction of the dais, where someone distinctly not kingly sits on the throne.
Robin!
Get down from there! But this Robin person ignores Maeve entirely, choosing to instead set his gaze squarely on me. Ooh.
Daoine! Did you go breaking the court's treaty of mutual surrender just to see little old me? You shouldn't have. Really? You shouldn't have.
You stole my bag. Give me my bag back. Robin is also a romanceable character. I will not be romancing them. Oh, hey, catch. Robin practically jolts out of the throne, reeling back her arm and giving it a good swing forward. Before I quite realize it, a vaguely brownish-looking blob is hurtling its way across the room, right towards my face. All I can do is flinch and fling my arms up over my head, but the collision never comes. Did Maeve catch it? When I dare to open my eyes again, I see Maeve glowering furiously at Robin, her hand outstretched in front of me and clenching onto my saddlebag? My wife literally just went for me. That's a proposal, right? That's a proposal. This yours, is it? Gawking, I reach out and grab it from her. Sure enough, as I tear through the contents of the bag, all of my things are still in it. I stand there baffled. How did you... How'd I what? I startle as Robin is suddenly standing right in front of me, grinning ear to ear. Hastily swinging the bag out of Claw's reach, I stand up straight and jab my finger into her chest. How did you end up with my saddlebag? Was that your horse? You could say that. I feel my face heating up the more I look at that smug, devil-may-care face. Why did you steal my saddlebag?
Steal? Me? Why, I never.
I was holding on to it for you, Dee. You just left it lying around. It was on my horse. I know. It's enough to make a poor kid jealous.
Robin, stop this. You're not a child.
Sure I am. Look at me. A true kid at heart.
So am I to assume that the Druid's account is true? They followed you through a ley line after you made off with their things for some inexplicable reason? Seems plausible. Right. Well, that's one problem sorted at least. Now we know for certain it was an accident. That should help when I explain this mess to the king. What?
Oh, you don't really have to drag him into all this, do you?
With all that's, happened recently, he might not take too kindly to... Of course I have to tell him. This is a matter of security. But I could just pop them back over right now and no one's the wiser. Except me, you, the Druid, anyone they may tell. Psh, you can keep a secret, can't you, Dee?
Robin!
Babe!
This is serious. Accident or not, you forced us into a sensitive diplomatic situation.
Oh!
I got it! Big Man said he wanted eyes on the inside, didn't he? Well, here you go. Eyes on the inside, trustworthiness certified. We could just tell him that and ignore the other bits. What? No, I'm not going to lie to the king. It's not a lie, just a little bit of bullshit. And we all do a little bit of bullshitting from time to time, don't we, Maeve? After all, this isn't exactly the first time. Hold your tongue. Smiling, Robin proceeds to stick out their tongue and hold it physically. You stay here with the Druid. I'm going to find the king and request a private audience with all three of us. And we're going to be forthright with him. But in the meanwhile, keep a low profile for once, would you? As Maeve begins to walk away, Robin swerves around and grabs me by the shoulders.
You! Help me out here, would you?
No! No! I blink. And why the hell would I do that? You robbed me! Robin lets her arms fall to the side as she sighs loudly. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because both our hides are on the line? I cross my arms and step away from Robin. Even if that's true, I trust Maeve a great deal more than I trust you. So, whatever it is you're scheming, I'll have no part in it. What? Me scheming? Why, I never... I glare at him. Okay, so they use all pronouns. I'm here for it. Okay, you win.
But could Could you at least do me one teensy tiny little favor?
How teensy tiny are we talking? The teensiest! I just need you to hold something for a bit. I heave a labored sigh. No! No! This is gonna bite me in the ass. No. No, absolutely not. Ugh, you're not much fun, are you? Oh well. Without another word, Robin saunters over to the dining table and picks up a loaf of bread and an entire boat of gravy, only to then immediately nudge a fellow to their left and hand the latter off to them, gesturing down towards the end of the table. I don't like the look of this. But before I can even think to intervene on whatever this is, the hapless accomplice has already shrugged and started making their way down the room, shouting all the while. Did, Nynaeve ask for some gravy over here? Any of ya? I love how there's like a similar thing in Southern where you just like cut off sounds and you get it. Nynaeve? Robin smiles mischievously, watching and waiting. Suddenly, she looks back over at me, giving me a brief once-over before tearing off a strip of bread. Want some? I narrow my eyes and shake my head. That's weird. Suit yourself. Robin then pops the torn piece into her mouth and chucks the rest of the bread clean across the room with the same speed and precision she threw my saddlebag earlier. Only this time the poor lad with the gravy boat didn't have a strong lady friend to stop him from getting smacked upside the head, nor from tripping over and dumping the contents of the gravy boat splat right onto Maeve, just as she was about to leave the throne room. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Who threw that? My mouth hangs wide open, as does everyone else in the room, except for Robin, who immediately leaps back over to me. Oh my, what a terrible turn of events. Poor Maeve's gonna have to find a change of clothes. Despite Robin's joviality, it does nothing to penetrate the fraught tension that now proliferates the room. Everyone has stopped eating. Stopped talking. There's not a sound to be heard other than the faint drip, drip, drip of gravy onto the stonework floors. Maeve, meanwhile, has yet to say anything at all, nor even move from her spot by the door. Her back is completely turned to us, rendering it impossible to see her face or read her expression. The silence is unnerving, even to Robin, who exhales a wry chuckle.
Salt gravy there, maybe?
Lord Almighty. I couldn't have said it worse myself. Everyone who is not named Robin Goodfellow, kindly stand aside. With militant obedience, everyone staying between Maeve and Robin step out of the way, leaving a clear pathway for Maeve to march down. Which she does, quickly, and with direct focus. Someone's looking a little mad, huh? Come on now, I'm sure they didn't mean to. Maeve's steel face drops a hand onto Robin's shoulder.
Robin,
Uh-oh.
Yes?
goat is back on the menu.
I love her. I love her, Your Honor. They didn't stand a chance. Within seconds, Maeve had effortlessly hoisted Robin up over her head, then she tossed him in a clean line down the table, hitting every item on it along the way. Impressively, it takes about a solid minute and a half for Robin to come to a skidding halt, now totally slathered from head to hoof in cake, tomato, mashed potato, and so on. He groans as he hobbles into an upright position, wiping the slurry of food from his face. That background music was fantastic for that moment. Welp. Can't say I was expecting that. Good. Learned your lesson then? Nope. Suddenly, Robin springs to his feet, standing high atop the table with an entire tray of disparate food items. Disparate food items, which he begins to pelt out wildly and with reckless abandon, having no care for anyone he may hit in the process.
I know only escalation!
Now, no, I don't want to romance them. I don't have a single feeling of romance in me for them. That is a really good line, and that was delivered really fucking well. Bravo! Bravo to the voice actor on that one. That was good. Bollocks. Maeve, sensing her waning choice in the matter, attempts to rush Robin and get her to stop. But by now it's too late. Maeve may be strong, but Robin is quick. The game is on, and clearly Robin intends to win. She skips down the table, tossing food everywhere, including back at Maeve herself. A few bystanders attempt to slow Robin down by slinging food back at her, but not all of them meet their mark, which then inevitably results in a few cases of mistaken intent. And with it, retaliation. Soon enough, with the feast itself half trashed and intoxication already running rampant through the crowd, others begin to participate in the mayhem in earnest. Maeve briefly tries to yell some sense in people, but she goes unheard in and amongst the pandemonium. Nothing is able to escape the pure, unadulterated chaos of culinary warfare, as the walls, floors, and people between them get thoroughly smeared and soiled. It's nothing short of a miracle that I haven't been caught in the fray yet myself, but I know it's only a matter of time for me, so... Hide. I don't need to be getting in on this and my wife being mad at me. I duck and cover underneath the dining table, obviously. I'm not getting these fancy Sealy clothes dirty. That's right, I have the fancy Sealy clothes. The battle rages on for a while, though I have no way of knowing what's happening out there beyond what I can see through the flurry of legs and here above me. Though from what I can tell, Robin has remained for the most part on top of the table, zipping up and down, stirring up the chaos further, as Maeve continues to shout at him to stand down. Suddenly, though, even as it seems the madness will never end. Oh no. Oh no, is this another hot voice? Fuck. 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 Chat, I'm scared.
Are you all...
Yep.
doing?
Yep. Okay. Yep. I'm there. Not as much as the master. Not as much as the master. Not as much as Maeve. But it's still there. Yes. Continue to the next chapter. Yes. Give me the king. I mean, the king's proposal. I mean, it's a little quick, and I know the dress does a lot for me. But it just seems a little quick for us, sweetie. Also, I'm kind of going for the knight first, if I'm being honest with you. All the joviality that was once present in the unseelie throne room abruptly dies. No one speaks. No one whispers. No one even dares to move. I strain my head from under the table, trying to catch a glimpse at the person whose mere presence managed to cut through Robin's calculated chaos in one fell swoop. It's no use, though. Between the throng of people, I can't see anything at all. But I can still hear.
So is this what is to become of my father's court? The Dagda's feast, put to waste and desecrated.
I'm in.
Chaos and tomfoolery at the very seat of our hard-fought throne.
Oh God, yes.
My king.
permit me to. Explain? It is plain enough. Troider? It is, it's her last name, Troider.
Maeve Trijor.
Trujor.
I'm sorry, my king. Things got out of hand.
There's a long, palpable silence. I hold my breath, waiting in anticipation for what the king does next.
All guests are to leave the premises effective immediately. Inform those still yet waiting to join in on the Dagda's feast that it will recommence tomorrow. And know that tonight's hunger was brought about by your actions here.
Now go. I hear murmurs and the swift shuffling of feet from all around me. Thinking fast, I try to duck out from under the table and sneak outside with the crowd, but I can't. My cloak strains on my neck. Looking back, I see that it got snagged in a groove on the table legs. By the time I manage to unhook myself, there aren't enough people close by to hide me. I'd be spotted for leaving for sure. Eventually, I hear the doors close again, so I shuffle to the middle of the table to avoid being seen. The room descends into silence. Spare for the heavy and rapidly succeeding footsteps of, presumably, the king against the stone floors. Slow down there, buddy. There's no need to...
Robin.
Isn't there, good fellow? Unable to help myself, I press myself low and peek around the table legs, trying to observe what's going on. He's hot. Oh no, he's hot! And then he's got the cup. Look, I need people to know. I need people to understand. Deep cut shirts are for all genders. All of us. Thank you. Thank you. I can't see much, but I do see the king. Tall, fiery haired, and scowling. Love his hair color actually too. And I see Robin, hooves dangling mid-air as the king hoists them up by the scruff of their neck. It doesn't seem to be hurting them, though. At least no more than a mother cat hurts her kittens. Because I can think of no one more flagrantly disrespectful as to instigate. Oh, I don't know the name. Flanon.
Flanon, MacLou.
Flanon. Oh, son of Lou. Flanon put her down. But she started it, yes. But I also accelerated the matter to an extent. Are you going to wring me out by the neck? Is this true? I don't like that, like, now my thing is right here. I will say that's one thing that I wish we could figure out. Because I want them in the middle. I wish there was like a lock button, you know what I mean? Is this true? Robin proceeds to nod her head vigorously.
Yup. We're all blasphemers here.
This voice actor had a lot of fun. I can just tell. The king abruptly drops Robin, who lands with an ungraceful clatter to the ground.
You dropped me on a fork? That's forking smarts.
If only any part of you was as smart. In any case, I suppose both of you will have the profoundest pleasure of picking up every breadcrumb in this room tonight. I'll not have the servants waste their labor on such nonsense. Understood. Robin, despite his whining, springs up from the ground with surprising elasticity, but still makes a show of rubbing down his youchie. Sure thing, Chief. Good. Now then, perhaps one of you can tell me who that might be under the table? Your perception is impeccable, my good king. Could you just ignore me for a little bit longer? That would be great. My eyes widen as I scramble away from my peeping spot, as though this would turn me invisible again. Just how long had he noticed I was here? Strangely though, I don't hear the conversation continue. Squinting, I crane my head slightly to the side, but all I hear are some whisperings. And then, if the table's flipped, I'll love it. Sup, buddy? I flinch and scurry myself slightly backwards, now face to face with the king, who just seemingly lifted the entire table up with one hand, effortlessly. I play way too many otomes. Anyway. Manam. No, Manam. Isn't it Manam?
Manum.
Yeah, Manam. That's right. It's the interjection. Ha ha ha. It's not the name, it's the interjection. The king stares me down, his face inscrutable. Then, wordlessly, he thrusts his free hand out to me, his palm turned upward. Don't judge me. I glance between the king's face and his hand. Gingerly, I reach out and take it. His hand is firm and calloused, not to mention significantly larger than mine. Still, his hold is not aggressive, as he only uses enough force to help me out from under the table. Soon enough, I'm back on my feet again and caught between the three collective stares of Robin, Maeve, and the king of the unseelie court. I fidget in my spot, waiting anxiously for someone to say something. Do something. For anything to happen, really. Still, I don't dare speak up first. I don't believe that belongs to you. I raise my head, furrowing my brow slightly at the king. Sorry? Without further elaboration, the king simply lifts his hand to me and hooks his finger beneath the clasp of Maeve's cloak.
This. Remove it.
Yes, sir. What? No, there's no judgment. We listen and we don't judge here. Excuse you. You heard it here first, Reaper. Anyway, the king's hand falls away from me. Instinctively, I look towards Maeve and Robin. But their faces tell me nothing. It seems between the three of us, all we can collectively feel is worry. With a sigh and not much else I can do, I hesitantly remove the cloak, prompting the king to stand up straighter with a hard expression on his face. I see. Another present from the Seelie court. The king cranes his head to the side, glaring at Robin. What? What? Why do you always assume it's my fault? It always is. But it's not this time. Not really. They just fell through one of the ley lines before it closed behind me. I didn't mean. How curious. Then I gathered the assured security of your method of travel was an outright lie then. Who else might you have accidentally let in, I wonder? The king's words cause everyone else to fall silent for a moment. A grave tension in the air. Flan? It's not the food.
Flanon.
It is flan. It is flan. Okay, flan. Flan. Let's not jump to conclusions. Yeah, and besides, it only happened because they were chasing me. Chasing you? Why? The king glances down my way, anticipating an answer. Okay, I saw where my cursor was. Wish my hand was that cursor. Anyway, I'm going to explain. I don't trust Robin. She stole my things.
Uh-oh.
Well, more like borrowed without permission.
Robin.
Yes, sir? Never speak again. Okay. The scowl on the king's face deepens. He brings his hand to his face and pinches the bridge of his nose. Well then, this is a profoundly idiotic state of affairs. You two, I want this place spotless by tomorrow. Of course. Yep, you can count on us. And you. The king turns to face me abruptly. You come with me. With that, the king briskly walks past me and over to the doors. I feel my heart beating in my ears and my fears, unbidden, falling from my mouth. What are you going to do with me? The king stops in his tracks, peering over his shoulder. Violating the court's treaty of mutual surrender is a grave offense, Druid. What is to be done remains to be seen. One last time I look at Maeve and Robin. Maeve smiles at me softly, nodding her head. And Robin, of course, winks. I sigh, breathing deep, and following after the king. The unseelie king and I traverse through the castle walls without a single word passing between us. His stride is swift, but he does not attempt to overpower me, and in fact glances over his shoulder from time to time to make sure I'm keeping up. But my stomach twists and turns the longer we walk. Where is he taking me, and for what purpose? Robin and Maeve seem to be confident enough that the king is reasonable and that he won't take drastic action. But is that true? So far, he seemed temperamental and austere, even self-righteous, and what's worse, he has a good reason to distrust me. My unintended transgressions aside, he thinks, like everyone else does, that I'm a member of the Seelie court, and an important member at that. Right now, for all intents and purposes, he and I are enemies. We're here. I startle a little as the king's sudden announcement pulls me out of my musings. Where's here? Looking around, we don't seem to be anywhere in particular. Just standing in front of an inconspicuous door, somewhere fairly out of the way on the other side of the castle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't even read it. Like, I couldn't even speak it. I just read it and just lost it. So today's stream title is something along the lines of, I'm hoping I'm buffed in games because my IRL flirting is completely nerfed at the moment. I think it's buffed. I think in-game has, Otome flirting has been buffed if this is what I'm getting. Oh my god. Where is this? Excuse me. I'm just gonna drink some water, excuse me. A little hydration for no other reason than, you should hydrate, or you dehydrate. I am sticking it to the chair. Oh. My bed chambers. I raise my eyebrows but have no time to respond. The king immediately turns the door handle, opening it wide, and... He's got dogs! He's got dog- I'm in. Take me. Oh. Unable to stop what's about to happen, I find myself being tackled to the ground by 3 large dogs, all bounding out past the king in quick succession. There's nothing I could do but lie there, flat and helpless, as I'm mercilessly stepped on, nuzzled, and licked. I'm gonna have to jump out of aggressive stream. Don't flirt too hard. I make no promises. Sleep well, Tompi, and thank you so much for hanging out and being my wonderful mod as always. Sleep well. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. Let's see what these are. Oh, this is awesome. They put them all together. Good job.
Kunri, Kunnal, Kuan.
Conry, Connell, Kuon. Conry, Connell, Kuon. Stop that. Doge. Despite the king's commands, there's seemingly no end to the onslaught. I'm surrounded on all sides, and they're much too big for me to shove aside or squirm away from in a hurry. Eventually, the king is forced to come to my direct aid, kneeling down and pushing past the dogs in order to grab a hold of my arm and pull me up. Get a hold of yourselves. You know better. Aww. Sorry about that. They're very excitable. Still regaining my bearings, all I can manage is a breathless nod and a weary smile. Anyway, come in. The king stands aside from me and the dogs, who all run back to the room ahead of he and I. After giving the king a brief glance, I turn my head downwards again and follow suit. As I step inside, the first thing I notice is that the king's room is remarkably plain? Or at the very least, unkingly. It's not terribly big or fancy. There's some shelves, a table, a cluttered rug for the dogs, and some chairs with a footstool by the fire. But I could just as well seen this room... But I could just as well see this room belonging to Maeve or even an important servant. There's no sense of status, nothing beyond sheer utility. Did the king choose this room? It's odd, in hindsight, that it's so down and out of the way. Stranger still, though, is what's missing from the room entirely. Namely, a bed. Could it be in that other room with the locked door? No, locked is the wrong word for it. The door is bolted shut from the outside with not one, but 2 locks and a large plank of wood. I find myself staring at it longer than I should. Take a seat. I whirl back around to the king's gaze, putting the strange door out of my mind. I get the feeling it's the last thing I ought to be asking about at the moment, so I simply follow the king's gesture over to the fireside and sit down. In the meanwhile, the 3 dogs all pile onto the rugs down and around my feet, all panting and warming themselves by the fire. As for the king, he remains standing, leaning back against the table, where he then removes his eye patch, placing it down beside him. I didn't expect him to do that, and I'm surprised by what I see. There's a redness around the eye, perhaps a burn mark, but the eye itself has something strange about it too, though I can't quite put my finger on it.
Think me handsome, do you?
I do, actually, look, apparently I've got a thing for men with scars. Just saying. You would not be the first I thought was handsome with them, so. Yes! Yes! God, I almost missed that! I almost missed that! Shit! I give anything to make a man blush. Yes. 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 Fuck, we're gonna romance the king too. I think there is one character, so the way these will be released is in 2s, I believe. So the first bit is Maeve and the first character that we met. And the second ones, I believe, are the Queen and the King. And then the third one is the Trickster and the Master. I think I actually have one romance in each. It's kind of like Belle Automata, where it's also released in 2s. And I was like, I want this one in this, I want this one in this, and I want this one in this. I think I'm going to have the same thing here, because I want Maeve And I kind of prefer the king, even though I love the queen's character, I'm kind of leaning towards the king. And then obviously the master. So yay, go me. I slapped my hand immediately over my mouth. Christ, why did I say that? Blush! Blushies! Blushies! Blushies, 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 blushies. I'm winning. I am so winning. I am so buffed in this patch, y'all. Unfortunate, given the circumstances. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... The king holds up his hand, seemingly just as eager to move on from this subject as I. Tell me what you know of the War of the Courts, Druid of the Sealy Court. I sit up straighter and tilt my head, racking my brain for what to say. Tell me, not much. I kind of want to tell. I'm fine. Or, sorry, him tell me, because I don't know a lot, actually. Well, why don't you tell me? I only really know one side of things, and all that was a while before my time. I doubt you have a lifetime to spare for the eternity of that tale, child of Mill? Oh, allegiance.
Child of meal.
Meal. Child of meal. But I am pleased by your curiosity and willingness to listen. I will be as brief as I can. Once Tir Nanog was a united land, at least in name. The 4 provinces were ruled over by the unbroken lineage of... Bod Dirug?
Bod Jarrod.
Jarrig. Son of the Dagda, who was himself of Danu's progeny? Progeny. That's not even an Irish word. That's just a normal word that when I'm reading a book, I just and pass over. I know vaguely the meaning, but yeah. Sorry, excuse me. I completely butchered this. He was elected to rule by the kings of the old world, and the blood of the goddess sanctified his reign, as well as his descendants thereafter. Yet, despite this honored lineage, Tir Nanog found itself plagued by a fool, King Onrai? Henri. I think it's Henri, isn't it? Moirai check.
King Henri.
Henri, I was right. Second one, Henri. He was weak, ignorant, and turned a blind eye to the grotesque greed of the Flatha, and to the corruption in his own court as well. Half the land was inundated by abject poverty and squalor. The average seal, the average freeman, Sealy? No, wow! Kayla, what?
Kayla. And then the plural, Kaylee.
I have to remember that English is really hard to people too, so. The average Kaylee. Kaylee is plural. Wait, one more time. Wait a minute. We're learning together. Yeah, it's Kayla. If it's an I, it's the plural Kaylee. So Kayla. The average Kayla, the average freeman, could hardly afford to eat, and what remained of their meager earnings were either returned to the Flatha in tribute or outright stolen. Am I saying that right?
Fla.
Fla. No,
And
it's
then
just
the plural, Flaha.
Flaha. Okay, I was not saying it right. Excuse me. Flaha. This is to say nothing of the unfree. Bothacha? Oh my god. Boha?
Boha.
Boha.
And then the plural, Bohaka.
And Shenkleha.
Shenkleha. And
then the plural?
Shenklehi.
we're often no better off than, oh my god.
Fura. And then the plural, Furi.
In their manner of living, and all were subject to grueling, back-breaking labor in the fields and mines. Do not mistake me, though. Our nobility was not a unique evil. Falius and Phineas played no small part in the subjugation of Murius and Gorius as well. After all, the king did nothing to prevent the indefinite inflation of spring and summer's critical exports, such as produce. In that sense, the autumn and winter Tirna must have felt justified in working my people to their brink. But not for their sake, of course. Flaha only concerned themselves with the maintenance of their own wealth. Gods forbid they ever forego a decadent feast. Regardless.
The most vulnerable people of Tir na Nog were suffering, living existences of pure misery. Good, honest, hard-working folk would watch their children starve. And yet, not one member of the ruling class did anything to stop it. Much less the king.
They were only common folk, after all. Their deaths only mattered if it impacted the amount of wealth they cultivated for their superiors. The quality of their lives was not worthy of consideration at all. We were in dire straits, so much so that it came to the point that the gods had no choice but to intervene. This was not the first time that...
Two a day, Damon.
2 a day. It's just 2 a day. This was not the first time the 2 a day had faced such vile adversity, but in those days, it was the...
Famor.
Famor.
Famoira.
Famor. But in those days, it was the Famor who kept us bound and repressed. Not our own people. My head spins as I take in all of this, but one question sticks out in my mind. Who are the Famor? Who are the Famor? I'm surprised you didn't know, Druid. Famor are the ancient enemies of the Tua de Danann, a monstrous tribe that inhabited Inisfal long before your people or mine. When the Tua de arrived on the shores of the Islet of Destiny, we were enslaved by the Famor. One more time. Famor?
Famor.
Famor, okay.
Famoira.
But my ancestors fought back. We won Inisfal, installed our own kings, and drove the Famor out permanently. Their struggle and our struggle are not so dissimilar. The High Kings Nuada and Lu. That is not how I say that. Nuada. Nuada. Nope. Nuada. Nope, I was still wrong. Lu. I do got Lu though. Inspired the Tuade to rise up and free themselves from their oppressors. Likewise, we too were inspired by great men to fight against our feckless king and tyrannical nobility. One was Finn, a druid like yourself. And the other was Lugod. Lugod? Yeah, Lugod. A renowned warrior and tactician. My father. The king suddenly turns away from me for a moment so that I cannot see his face.
He was an unparalleled leader and an inspiration to us all. All that we have today was wrought by his hands.
Why are you telling me this? What happened in the end? What happened in the end? So, what happened then? In the end? The king is silent for a moment, then turns back around to me. We got close. Very, very close. But not close enough. We lost Finn, and many more good men in what would be our last fight, to capture this very castle. From here, we were meant to push on to Timar. Tever. Oops.
Kever.
Yeah, that one's Tever. And I wanted to keep going. We were dealt a blow, but victory was at our fingertips. But the Seelie called for a ceasefire, to negotiate terms. It was a mutual surrender, and my father accepted.
We didn't lose. We did not lose.
But we didn't win either. No one did. Instead, we're stuck in this godforsaken stalemate. We kept the territories we conquered, but the embargo between the courts is suffocating us far more than it is them. And now... Well, never mind. I didn't tell you all this to make you pity us. I squirm awkwardly in my seat. Then, why have you? First things first. I won't be sending you to the block, so you needn't look at me so sullenly. But it isn't on Oh, that's my wife. Trujor. But it isn't on Trujor or Goodfellow's word. Nor is it because I trust you.
It's because, and only because, your death benefits the Seelie more than it benefits us.
Yeah, if they kill me, the druid, then it'll be seen as like an act of like aggression and war again, so he can't. With no disrespect to you or your capabilities, you're an expendable asset to the Seelie. If you die, another druid will take your place. But you are important enough to cause a stir. Treaty or no treaty, they'll call your execution first blood.
This so-called peace, this pathetic truce, it was never meant to last. It was only ever the Seelie's last-ditch effort to stop the oncoming tide, to give them time to regather their strength.
But to their credit, it worked. We're weaker now than we were then, having lost not one of our patriarchs, but two. Finn, lost to the war, and now Lugod, murdered. I stare at the king, my mouth agape. What? It's not common knowledge. Only the closest in my circle know. And now, so do you. I'm sorry someone was murdered. I'm in shock. I can't believe what the king is telling me. I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. Sorry? Mostly thought of Lugod as a villain, a traitor. Why should you care about his manner of death? Well, I can't know the state of his character either way, but he was still your father, and you his son. Thank you. But I don't tell you this in hopes of reaching a sympathetic ear. I want you to help me find the bastard who killed him, and if the Seelie are to blame... I nearly choke on the air, all manner of color leaving my face. One of the dogs looks up at me, startled by the sound. You what? But I... The court drew it to the Seelie Queen, yes. If this was her plot, or the doing of another member, you were close enough to the beast's beating heart to discover its nature.
I'm no fool, though. I don't believe I've swayed your loyalties just by relaying to you this tale. For all I know, the moment I release you, you'll go crawling back to the Queen. Of course, if you do, keep in mind the Seelie will be more inclined to honor the treaty than I, at present. So I'd advise against it.
Besides, I can offer you something that the Seelie Queen cannot. Or perhaps more accurately, will not. And what's that? Your freedom. Your freedom to leave. I don't claim to be privy to the ins and outs of magic, or how it works, but I know desperation when I look it in the eye. No Seelie is as skinny as you. You've been starving yourself. trying to open one of the waypoints out of Tir Nanog and into Inisfal, haven't you? No, don't even bother responding. I know it's true. I've seen others try it during the height of the war and die in the process. You should know that one druid isn't enough to break through Danu's seal. Except for maybe the archdruid. And even then, your window of time is brief. Maybe you do somehow manage the ritual all by yourself. You'd still have maybe a minute or two before the waypoint closes again. You could die or get lost in the void between. Forever. It isn't a risk worth taking. Trust me. Besides, as you know, the Order of the Eternal Flame took no side in the war and agreed to assist both dominions in druidic and godly affairs. What I'm saying is, I have the power to ask that you be let free. And I will, upon my honor, should you decide to help us. I don't know. I understand that you've had a very long day, so I'll give you 3 days of sanctuary to make your choice. Even if you are a spy, you won't find out much in that time. After that, you'll no longer be welcomed here, and must either return to the Seelie or face the consequences of your actions, accident or not. Understood? I nod and find myself wordlessly rising to my feet. I wasn't dismissed, but I need to get out of this room. I need to think. The king, for his part, does not stop me, but as I begin to open the door... One last thing, child and meal. Tentatively, I look over my shoulder.
This story is bigger than you and your desires. Remember that, as you make your choice.
I say nothing, closing the door behind me. The saddlebag slips from my hand, the treasures it contains sprawling out across the floor below me. I can scarcely bear to look. They will say I died.
Durf siad go bhfuair mé bás.
Oh my god, I finished the basic route. Oh, we're stuck here. Well, here's the thing. Let's be honest now. If you romance anyone, why would you want to go back to the real world? These voice actors. Oh, wife. Husband. My other husband was somewhere in there. It's like, do we go find a... That's so cute! I don't remember if I would be in this or not, because I feel like it's a backers thing. Wait, does it go to where this is? Oh my god, it does. Anonymous. Oh my god, there's so many A's. We're here. We're staying here. I want to see this. Okay, now we're hitting the B's. I want to know what the thinking was behind doing this part. Now, it definitely makes you want to watch more than, like, say, if we did, like, a credit scroll. So I will give them that. But, like, who said this is the way? I did it! I mean, with the way the world's going now, sign me up for the right. Right there with you. We have a ways to go before R, just for the record. We're gonna sit here. This is gonna be in the YouTube VOD too, because everyone deserves to see this. Okay. Okay, so that was E, F, and G. I love that some of these are like game handles and things like that. I don't even know if my name is in this, by the way, so we might just be sitting here for nothing. The music's really good, though. So now here is a potential problem that I'm seeing. I play these games for romance. But this plot seems bigger than just the romances. So I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go for Maithe, and I'm going to click Maithe's book and skip. I'm going to skip one of the books and see if we get dropped into like a random point in the story to like shows that we need to go in order, or if it's like seeing the story from this perspective and what her job is in it. It's like, because I feel like there could be a few ways that they could do this. It's either going to drop us in the middle because we've missed a plot point because we didn't do the one character, or it's going to show us a part. It's just going to show us Maeve's part in the story, and like you unlock something at the end if you do all of the story. Like if you do all of the romances. Let's see. I'd be in here. I'd be in Reaper. Nope, I don't think I'm there. Okay, I didn't know. I wouldn't know. So I'm curious as to how that's going to work. What if I move it? What if I move? Haha. Dragon, what? What are you doing here? Look at all these people. Look at all the special thanks. Now I understand why it was a heart. You were there? You never come just to hang out with me because I'm here. YouTube, this is not the... Oh, thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. Thank you for making the game. YouTube, I'm gonna start Maithe. I'm gonna do one part of Maithe. Okay, I did click the button. I clicked. Can you guys hear the water? I don't know if you can hear the water. There's water running. There's a door. It is sealed shut. Unlock the door. Password. We have no password. The door does not heed your words. How frustrating. You're certain you had the right words written down somewhere. Did you leave it at home? In your pocket? Is it something we have to unlock through? Wife, husband, husband. Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this. I might just say screw it and keep all of this in here. I'm going to go to Maeve's book, and I want to start Maeve's book. I'm doing, because it's 1, 2, 3. I want to do it though. We're just gonna do one. We'll just do one chapter. I just want to see. What? Coming soon? What? Oh, can I not? Oh, to be fair, this is the demo version. To be fair, I am just playing on the demo version. Wait a minute, what? Chotomate, chotomate. Is it just... Okay, this is early access. Oh, the experimental save system. That's a quality of life patch. That's nice. I like that. I liked the, like, after every chapter, it's like, we saved it for you. Ooh, okay, maybe I... All right. Oh my god, the art for that is so good. Okay, anyway, YouTube, I lied. I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to the team and I'm going to see what I have, if they will give me a key to continue the game. If I need to pay for the game, I will pay for the game. That is fine. I will pay to romance my wife. I'm cool with that. But that means that is it for this demo. It's the point two? Version 2 of the demo, Book of the Traveler. So basically setting you in the story, setting you in the world, letting you meet all the characters, falling in love with who you're gonna fall in love with. And then it says, have fun, buddy. I can't wait. I will, again, quickly message the team and see what's going on and what we can do to look at some more stories. We might not be done with the good people just yet, but I will let you guys know. And with that, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.